Alright guys, welcome to another episode of Tech Talk. Today is November the 9th, 2014. Been kind of a slow week, but I got a couple things we want to talk about. I got here with me Austin and Emmanuel, of course. He's joining us this week after last week's absence. Okay, so first thing we're going to talk about is Android 5.0 Lollipop official releases. And if you're reading the rundown, which I have a link to in the description, LG has gotten is having a release this week on not in the U.S. but in Poland. It's gonna the LG G3 is gonna get Android 5.0, and as well Motorola is now running soak tests, which is basically giving certain participants who like signed up for it that get Android Lollipop as well on their Moto X 2014 edition, unlocked too. What do you think about OEMs getting updates out to devices before Google, which is kind of an important thing?
I think it's a neat thing for Google because it shows that they're supporting other brands, other companies. And so while Nexus and the others aren't getting it as fast, it's still really cool to see all the support that Google has for all other companies and stuff like that. And how it shows that months ago or longer they gave the companies access to Lollipop.
Yeah, I think it's awesome. If I was a Nexus 5 user though, I'd be pissed. And I'm a Nexus 7 user, and I'm kind of mad about it because, like, well, I want this because I got a Nexus 7 or a Nexus, and it's like I'm supposed to be the first one to get it, right? And I'm not, so that kind of pisses me off. But at the same time, I see it's awesome because LG, especially, is kind of one of those kind of wild card people to put out updates, as well as Samsung. And I think it's awesome that like they're setting new like limits to when they'll put it out, and like they're putting out really fast, especially with LG. That's pretty awesome. I think it's really cool. Okay, next thing we're going to talk about is the Android Wear watches. So the Asus Zen watch has been, or is going to be launched soon, for $199, which is cheaper than any other watch in the market. And as well, the Moto 360 has been launched with the metal bands. Also, something about the Samsung Gear S that's coming out. I don't really care about that. This Asus Zen watch, though, I gotta say something about this, is a really nice looking watch. I saw a lot of coverage about it at IFA. It was really gorgeous device. It looks almost as good as the Moto 360. It's not a complete circle, but it still looks awesome. I think it looks better than any than the G Watch or the G Watch R, or even the Gear, whatever, the Gear one,
Gear.
like Gear, the Gears. It's Gears. It's the Samsung Gears. That's what it is. That one's just a standalone watch where you can actually make calls and text from it without having your phone on there. It's also running Tizen, so you're not going to have Android Wear obviously on there, but it's still something to mention. So what's I like about both watches? Both of them are really, really pretty. The Moto 360 looks absolutely astounding with the metal bands. And the Asus Zen watch, I just like that one. And I like that it's also cheap. And I hope that cheapness keeps on going down because the less they cost, the more it'll go out to more people. More people will be able to get a watch and a smartwatch. And maybe one day it'll be like a standard thing for everyone to have a smartwatch instead of an analog watch. What do you like about both watches?
Uh, let's see. The Asus Zen watch I think is cool because I kind of like the design. I'm more of the whole square design kind of person. I don't care as much for a circle smartwatch. I haven't seen much how they like run with the user interface, but it doesn't seem too much like that's something I'm into. But I do like the Moto 360, and then I like the metal bands too. As we have the rundown in front of us right here, they have one that has a black metal band, and I actually really do like how clean and just how clean and cool that looks. So that's what I like about both.
So I like. Well, I really don't know much about it, but I like the design for a squarish watch. But the thing is, I prefer more roundish watches like the Moto 360. And even though it costs a little bit less, I think I would still go for a more premium device.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Moto 360 is always a good looking device, and I like the circle. I don't understand him. but the circle always just looks good.
Well, I like
It's classic.
circles. I like circles for that classic look. I don't know how well it runs with a smartwatch.
Yeah, some apps don't work very well on Moto 360s just because of the circular.
Yeah,
watch.
it just doesn't. I mean, our phones are square.
Obviously,
our
that'll
watches
improve over time, but I think there's going to be a lot more round watches, obviously, with the G Watch R. And the next question is, what's your favorite smartwatch out right now? I really like the Zen Watch, but I gotta say the Moto 360 is killing it. I love that thing. It looks so good. What about you?
If I had to pick, probably the Moto 360 is the one I would go with. I like I do like that classic look of it. I just hope it would run well with everything.
I have to agree with them about the Moto 360. I like it the best. I used to wear watches, and I like that classic circle screen. So I think that it will look nicer, more professional than others. And I really like the middle bands. And I know that others you can change the bands, but I just like how it looks with the Moto 360 and how it gives it more luxury, high class look.
Yeah. Nexus 6 and Nexus 9, a great example of how to sell products. Obviously, this is sarcasm. Nexus 6 is going to be on T-Mobile stores starting on Wednesday, November 12th, which is pretty exciting. So if you really want to get a Nexus 6, you can go and pick one up on Wednesday. Um, It'll also start as well. It also is going to start getting stock every Wednesday on the Google Play Store. So if you really want it unlocked, you can go to the Google Play Store every Wednesday and try to pick one up. It's still kind of they get sold out really quick and they don't put out a lot of devices and it's kind of Hopefully, it's not going to be that bad these coming Wednesdays. As well, the Nexus 9 had a kind of fire sale from HTC. They basically put out like 100 devices at Nexus 9s for $199, which is 50% off, which is a great deal. A lot of people got mad about this though, since they tweeted it to Twitter, and they're like, only 100 devices, and not many people could get them, and they're like, it literally went away like in 2 seconds, like faster than the Nexus 6. Obviously, it's only 100 devices for half off. I think a lot of people would jump on this.
That'd make me pissed.
Yeah, I'd be so.
I'd
And
want
also,
one.
like this also goes back to the people who just bought it the day before when it came out. It's like, oh, I just spent $400 and then $200. Oh, thanks.
Yeah, that would kind of piss me off just a little bit. Just paying double, and I could have got it for half off.
Yeah, and so what do you think of all these tactics, Manuel?
I don't hate it. I think that it's a good, smart business decision that if you limit it, because supply and demand, if you have a low supply, there's going to be a high demand.
Mm-hmm.
And like we've seen with other products, like it works. It gets people buying the product. And about the fire sale, it's only 100 devices, but that's still going to be 100 people raving about the product. There's still going to be others that buy it even afterwards. And about the fire sale, there's a lot of other companies that do the same thing.
Yeah. And
So
it also gives a lot of recognition to HTC. So you'll see a lot of people are talking about HTC right now because of that fire sale. People being mad about it, and you can see how you can never please the consumer.
Fully.
Next question is: are you still excited for the Nexus 6? I'm gonna answer this last. Austin, you first.
Yeah, I still am excited for the Nexus 6. I don't know if we'll have anything that'll be said article put out from this, but me and him have switched phones for a week and tested out a couple different screen sizes, and he got to feel what a 6-inch screen is like. So obviously it's my phone, I live with it, and I live with 6.3 inches of a screen for a daily driver, and I like it a lot, so I think I'll still like the Nexus 6. I'm still excited for that, just because it kind of has that Moto X look to it, which I like. I always like the bigger screen, so I'm still excited for it.
I'm somewhat excited. It's mixed response, but it's mainly because I don't like having like a huge phone. It's more of like a phone tablet now being at 6 inches, and it's something that honestly isn't really that comfortable for me to like use because I like texting with one hand and like doing that with the tablet and stuff. It's just gonna be problematic. And then on top of that,
I kind of have to say
want
something about that. The whole texting with
Let me
one
finish.
hand.
and I just don't like it. I'm used to having. I think the biggest phone I would want to go for is probably 5.5 inches, but 6 is too much.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, what were you gonna say about that?
So texting, That one varies, I think, because I've held some 6-inch phones that actually felt comfortable to text with one hand still. So it'll be interesting to see if the Nexus 6 can still pull that off. Mine doesn't do that. As you
Yeah,
know,
okay.
you have to use two hands pretty much with mine. I can do it with one, but I really, really, really am pushing to get the letter A sometimes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I think it could vary. I think that maybe the Nexus 6 might be a comfortable phone at 6 inches to do with one hand, because I know there are some phones that big that can, but not all phones are like that.
Mhm.
But 6 inches is technically classified as, a phablet, phone,
Oh,
tablet.
and I will have to say that uh, phone, tablet, like while they are trying to reach a demographic for people that want an all-in-one media device that with something that plays movies that looks great and plays games like on a bigger screen, I honestly am not in the market for one. So it's kind of like I don't know.
A company exec from Google actually said most people don't know they want a big device, because it's
No,
kind of interesting. I know I don't want one now.
he knows he doesn't want one now. And see, I could see the point where Google would say that, because as far as it goes for me, I never thought I would ever want a screen that big, and I was actually kind of shunned away from a huge screen like that until I got one.
Mhm.
Now my phone was free; it wasn't really a pick. I just got it, and so after using it, I ended up really, really liking a big screen. Like I probably forever will own a bigger screen phone rather than a littler one. So I
Um,
think a lot of people may not know that they want one until they try it. You have to try it first.
Yeah, so I'm not going to go too much into it since there's going to be a video out of my thoughts on the 6-inch devices. Um, I just wanted to let you guys know that I don't really like 6-inch devices. I hate the fact that I can't use it with one hand. That is a big thing with me. I use my Moto G like with one hand all the time. Like if I ever use two hands, it's so rare. And with a 6-inch device, you most of the time really need to use two hands to
Yeah.
manage it correctly, like to hit that A over there. Like that's such a pain.
If you're a right-handed person, you'll have so much trouble hitting the A letter.
Now with the Nexus 6, it does have a Moto X design, so it might be a little different. It might be a little more comfortable than his phone, because
That's
his
what I'm
is
saying.
flat in the back, very flat. It's like a freaking horrible.
That's pretty
And
amazing.
so I think the Nexus 6 will be a little better, but for me, I want to be able to use one-handed devices. So the Nexus 6, I'm still excited for it, but it just went down in like my want for it. So next starts the prize section. What app on your phone can you not live without?
This one's a little bit of a hard one, because there's a few things that I have on my phone that I definitely know I use every day. But if I have to pick one, I'd say Google Keep, because that's one that I use every day for all different kinds of things. Which I guess it kind of there's other Google apps that do the same thing, but I like Keep because it does it all in one. I use it for saving notes, reminders, saving a song if I need to remember what song it is. I use it for everything in my day-to-day life.
I would have to say that I use probably Notepad and Calculator the most, but for apps that you have to install on your phone, I'd probably have to do Mega 64 because that's probably the best emulator for N64 games that I've used. Because on my crap phone, it actually runs perfectly, and I get 30 frames per second, and it handles perfectly to play games like Super Smash and Mario, Pokemon Stadium, whatever. It's really like amazing how they handled that.
Um, my favorite app. This is a hard one because I have a couple apps that I can't live without. The Android Wear one because I have a smartwatch, but I feel like that's cheating.
There's always a couple that you have to have.
Yeah, and like Hangouts, I use that all the time. I actually use it for more than just texting, actually online messaging. But the one I guess I use the most is Twitter. I know there's other apps like Phoenix and Talon that are better, but I just don't want to pay for a Twitter app. So I use the Twitter app made from Twitter. That's the one I use absolutely the most. Okay, I think that's about it for today. Right?
Yeah, that wraps it up.
It's kind of been a slow week. Thanks for joining us for this week. Hopefully next week will be a little more exciting. We'll have a little more Nexus 6 news. Thanks for watching this week. It's been fun talking about the stuff.
Hopefully next week's more exciting.
Yeah, we'll have a lot more stuff to talk about, hopefully. Thanks for joining us. Remember to subscribe, catch all of our videos. They're all awesome and great. We got new music in there, so I think that's pretty cool. Remember to like the video if you liked it, and we'll catch you guys later.